Hey there, Carlos. Let's take a look at these new graphs. This new graph, actually. The line graph shows rainfall for 3 countries in the UK in 2018. As it is illustrated, comma, the highest amount of rainfall in 2018 belongs to Scotland, and it was in October and March, accounting for around 135 ml in both months. Also, Wales in July reached almost the same amount of rainfall. It can be seen that the lowest amount of rainfall was reached by Scotland with less than 30 ml in February, and it was followed by Wales, which in April recorded, maybe would have been a good word here, recorded over 35 ml of rainfall. Regarding England, the line graph presents that it had the quietest fluctuation. I don't know about that. The least fluctuation, I think, sounds the best here. Over the year, not among, over the year, reaching values between roughly 75 ml in May and 135 ml in December. All right, that's actually a nice way to treat England. 75. Okay, yes, good. As can be seen, in the first month of 2018, England and Scotland were broadly similar in the quantity of rainfall with 110 and 120 ml respectively, whereas Wales began the year with only less than 50. Also, it can be noticed that after 12 months, they ended with roughly the same amount of rainfall as in the beginning, as here. Because England ended with 105, Scotland 135, and the lowest in December was Wales with 55 ml. Overall, the 3 countries considerably fluctuated. Nevertheless, in June, they had the same quantity of rainfall. They did, didn't they? Okay, this is interesting. I liked it. Your paragraphing is a little strange. So I would be interested to hear from you how you decided to organize these paragraphs. What was the logic behind it? But I liked it. Like, I could get a feel for what you were talking about. And as far as I'm concerned, you included the important points. So you included where they ended, which for me is really important. You included where they began, which is also super important. So I'm glad you did that. A lot of people miss the beginning and the end. You also included some of that stuff that was kind of important in the middle. So I did enjoy it. The thing that seems kind of strange to me, maybe, like I said before, is a little bit about how you organized it. So in other words, you talked about these highs and then you talked about these lows. And then in the second paragraph, you talk about where it began and where it ended. So that kind of felt counterintuitive to me. I would have maybe expected the opposite, but it's not a huge deal. You covered all the main points of this graph, and so I'm really happy with that. Okay? Let's take a look at your next essay. It's the one about getting married and having children in your 30s. Nowadays, getting married and having a baby, not over 30s, that's awkward. It's in one's '(s) 30s, okay? Or you could have said, nowadays, getting married and having a baby over 30. Also would have been okay. And it's not have grown, but it's has grown in importance. Now, let's talk about why this is awkward. Because you said nowadays, it has grown in importance over the last few years. So is it nowadays or is it the last few years? Do you understand what I mean by that? So just pick one. If you're going to use a time marker for the period you were referring to, just pick one. Don't use multiple time markers. So let's get rid of nowadays because it's a little cliche, to be totally honest with you. So getting married and having a baby over 30 has grown in importance over the last few years. In my opinion, I believe that it is better to give birth and get married not after the 30s. That's not right. After one turns 30. However, this essay will discuss both points of view, giving examples and arguments to demonstrate points and to prove my opinion. Okay. I have a question mark, but I'm going to reserve my question mark until I actually read what you wrote. All right? So let's see what you said. To begin with, most of the time, comma, having the first baby is an important, most of the time. Okay, to begin with, most of the time, having the first baby is an important part of everyone's life, and it is a fact that babies consume time and money. One of the main advantages of let's not talk about late giving birth, but giving birth later in life. All right, how's that for an expression? So one of the main advantages of giving birth later in life is that most of the mothers have a steady life after this age. What does that mean, a steady life? And therefore, they are able to take care of the newborn by themselves, word order, without, without it being necessary to pay for a daycare center, not place. I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me? Why? Why does this happen after one is 30, but it doesn't happen in one's 20s? Another significant reason is that most of the time after one's 30s, their financial situation is easier to deal with, and this is due to the fact that parents have had several years to save money for the newborn. For instance, a study shows that 60% of new mothers over 30, get rid of the S, spend more time with their babies than the ones under this age. Moreover, parents, lowercase, are more likely to give a better education due to the steady life they have. All right, now your example here, your for instance, does not match with this. You said that they've saved money. Okay, they've saved money to have this child. And then you talk about them spending more time. Those two things are not connected. If they are connected, then you have to explain that connection to me. But just because you've had more time to save money, it doesn't equate having more time. So that was really confusing for me. On the other hand, now careful with on the other hand. We usually use on the other hand when we have a on the one hand in the previous paragraph. You didn't have that. So you could have used a bunch of different linkers here. You could have said, however. You could have said, that said, or that having been said, or be that as it may. Okay? So there are a bunch of different things you could have used to show that you're changing your perspective. So let's try, that said, older parents do not have the same energy as a young couple, and this is because, get rid of this expression, the multiple parents, they have one body? No. The parents, apostrophe S, body is losing energy, no, loses energy over the years. For example, recent research illustrated that only 25% of new couples over 30, careful, are able to play in physical activity for more, get rid of the no, it's wrong, than 45 minutes. Furthermore, most parents want to have at least 2 babies in their lives. So, lowercase s, younger parents have much more possibilities, many more possibilities, not much more, many more possibilities to give birth without any kind of an overwhelming situation. Explain what an overwhelming situation is. It's very vague. It doesn't help us. And this is in contrast to parents over 30, no S, who have increased chances of having a dangerous pregnancy. Okay? In conclusion, from the arguments and examples given above, I believe that it is a positive development to get married and have a baby over one's O-N-E apostrophe S 30s, and this is because newborn, no S, babies will probably have a better life. No, get rid of the newborn and even get rid of babies. Just call them children, because you're not just concerned about the lives of babies. Babies are only babies for about a year, then they become children. So talk about children, which is more general. If in the future, get rid of the comma. If in the future technology can help to give a solution to these drawbacks, getting married and having a baby at an older age will become even more commonly accepted. Okay, that's fine. You used a nice advanced grammatical structure here with this conditional. The punctuation was wrong, but okay, I can overlook that. Be careful with a lot of your grammar. It was a little problematic. It kind of made me halt and like have some issues throughout this essay. The word choice as well. I realize that there's some specific vocabulary for this essay, and if you're not super familiar with it, it can become confusing. It's very easy to make errors, but I just want you to be aware of what those errors are, okay? Go ahead and correct these, return them back corrected, and let's see what you write for us the next time. Good luck.